Hey you guys, and welcome to my recap of Power Book 2 Ghost, Episode 8, titled Family First. This is another great episode, you guys, and if you haven't started watching this saga yet, what are you doing? But if you need to catch up, well, I guess that's what I'm here for. Episode 8 answered a lot of questions going forward in this season, so let's get into it.
What's wrong?
Somebody tried to kill me today, Ma.
You need to tell me everything that you've been up to, right now.
Danger? Should I alert the authorities?
No, it's not that kind of danger.
I can sell this drug dealing family. I gotta know, how does it end?
Look, I still feel like there's something that you're hiding.
You can't trust anybody, not with the truth.
We're seeing this whole thing wrong.
When I find you, you're dead.
We open up with 2-Bit visiting Spanky's mom, played by comedian Lunel. He gave her some money and he expressed his condolences, but he didn't tell her he was the one that gave the confirmation that led to Spanky getting killed by Tommy. Next, we see Zeke trying to press Professor Milgram in her office, but she flipped it to talking about his worries instead. Basically, he was worried about the Scouts and ESPN showing up at his homecoming rivalry game on the day of his return. When he leaves, you can tell she's uncomfortable with their relationship. Later, when we come back to the two lovebirds, they meet in the school's courtyard, and before they could get 2 sentences out, guess who shows up? Auntie Monet, and she wanted to know if this was the professor that put him on probation. Once Zeke clarifies it wasn't Professor Milgram, she was out of there fast. Later, Zeke shows up to Carrie's apartment to talk about the events that happened that day, which I'm about to get further into now. In this episode, we see the return of Effie. She shows up out of the blue and when Lauren was in the room. Lauren upsettedly leaves, and that's when Effie advises Tariq that she wants to sell coke during their homecoming week and needs Tariq's help. But he told her he was out of the game. Effie just took that as him not wanting to work with her. After Tariq got some advice from his mom about trust, he agrees to work with Effie and gave her a story so that she would trust him. She tried to explain herself about their past dealings, asking him has he ever done anything that he regrets but had to be done. After they start to make out, it showed them both strapped before their love scene off camera. Outside, Lauren and her family run into 2-Bit. He's looking for Tariq and trying to find the freshman dorms. He gets pointed in the right direction, and when he finds Tariq, he presses him about money that Ghost owed him before he was murdered and wants Tariq to pay $24,000 by tomorrow. That's when Tariq goes to Effie and gives her the rundown of the student body, allowing her to sell the coke, basically pointing out all the under pressure students that are having issues with their parents during parent week. They make out again, and Effie and Tariq then hustle up $50,000 in a quick time span. That's when Effie brings up to him about expanding to other Ivy League colleges in their area and starts bedroom negotiations. But Tariq had to leave to pay, quote, his mom's lawyer, end quote, but he will meet back up with her after the game. Braden is at dinner with his parents and family, and he's unaware coke is being sold on campus until Trace comes down with a nosebleed and has to leave the dinner table. Braden tells Tariq that someone is selling coke on campus and he thinks it's Effie. Tariq doesn't give him the whole truth, so Braden still wants to inquire around campus. Tariq has to call off his date with Effie because of the events that happened at the game, but we'll get to that later. She runs into Braden and lets Braden know everything. Braden later confronts Tariq, upset that he didn't tell him about dealing with Effie, both business and personally. Braden, upset, leaves, telling Tariq they don't have business together anymore. If you didn't know, Braden has a crush on Effie. So now, that's when we have Jabari following Tariq. Tariq is headed to meet Drew in a hotel to get more product. Somehow Jabari is in ear distance and hears Drew mention course correct. He starts to text Carrie to tell her to watch out for Tariq, But that's when Jabari gets a text that the publishers are excited about the book. Jabari stops texting Carrie because he now knows he needs Tariq and he can't afford to let him fall right now. Now we have Jabari doing research on the whole St. Patrick family, including all their dirt, which includes Angela and Raina's deaths. He's making a full connection to the book now. Later we see him having writer's block on chapter 9 of the novel. This is where Jabari triggers the download for the course correct app. My opinion, Jabari is very dispensable, and if he gets caught by Tariq or anyone in his circle, it's over for the professor. Finally, to the action. We come to Kane, and guess who he's working with? Yes, Little Guap, and another GTG member, Bars. It looks like my theory was correct. Make sure you check out that video. The link is in the description below. Bars is getting the school colors painted on him along with his light colored jacket to blend in with the crowd. And he's inquiring of Kane, why does he want him dead again? And here's where we found out Kane's master plan. Kane has been lying to GTG this whole time, and we learned that he's been feeding GTG the story that the reason Monet doesn't want to deal with them anymore is because she's working with Tariq and doesn't need them. Kane gives GTG member the untraceable knife, and if you remember from my epic prediction video, this was the item that looked like a wristband, but it was blurry in the frame. It's now game time, but first, this is where it's confirmed that Kane knows and seems to be already cool with Drew and Ev. Outside in the hallway, the attacker and Tariq seem to notice each other and play it off. The attacker had bright colored sneakers on, something a normal prep college kid wouldn't wear. Tariq is waiting for someone that's on their way. Tariq takes a seat by Monet and asks her about more product, and she says that she's having problems getting it right now. The person shows up at the entrance, so Tariq goes to the concession stand as a cover, where the attacker follows him and was noticed again. Tariq quickly changed the meeting location to the pool, and the attacker followed him and quickly overpowered Tariq. This is when 2-Bit saves the day and drowns that GTG ninja. When Kane sees Tariq show up, you could tell he was shocked, but he was running it down in his head it was supposed to be done. Then he gets a copy of the text from Guap showing him the pic that 2-Bit sent of the hitter face down in the pool. Kane steps into the hallway and calls the phone, which is now on Tariq, and this is where we hit a line, "Whoever this is, when I find you, you're dead." Tariq realizes who the killer is, or the person that's trying to kill him, and he glances at Monet. Zeke goes to the club with his teammates after the win. Ev blows off Drew's call, but Drew immediately calls Zeke to find out that they're at the club. Ev gets pushed off on a groupie, and that's when Drew walks in. They have another argument about Ev and why he can't be himself without being accepted. Now for the most intense scene of the episode. Unknown to Zeke, Guap walks up on him, asking for a picture. This is where Zeke is attacked. Guap literally holds Zeke's knee at gunpoint, saying this will hurt Monet more, and pointing out also that Kane is the reason Bars was killed. Zeke doesn't get hurt at this time. He was just a little shaken up and had to stop Drew from shooting Guap at point blank range. Drew gets fussed out for putting Zeke in danger over Ev. Drew immediately goes to Kane's spot. Kane is informed about Zeke's attack, and in a brotherly bond, Drew told him that Monet doesn't have to find out he was the reason for the attack. He makes sure Kane is going to end Guap. Kane says that he was already going to do that anyway. Tariq calls his mom on the next scene and gives her the rundown off camera. Then we cut to Lorenzo sitting in his cell quite comfortably, I might add. He receives a text from Tasha, and then he calls her in boss mode. She explains she knows that Tejada tried to take her son out. Lorenzo calls Monet and informs her. Monet confronts Drew with the whole story, but now she looks at him with admiration for taking the blame. Drew tries to lighten Monet's heart for Kane by letting her know he was already in process of handling GTG, but Monet coldly says that will be the last thing he does for this family. Now we have Kane going on his Assassin's Creed hunt. He cuts to power and takes out 2 GTG members, but he leaves Guap alive. My opinion, Kane is thinking ahead, knowing that he'll need Guap if he knows Monet like he should. Also, this would piss off Lorenzo. Remember, Guap's father took a bullet for Lorenzo. Kane goes home and is confronted by Dai at the door. My prediction video was correct. Kane was no longer welcome there. And out of sisterly love, he was given a roll of money and told to get out the city. Tariq doesn't trust Monet, so he meets her near the Brooklyn Bridge at Coney Island in broad daylight. Monet explained Kane acted on his own and is no longer part of the family. It was also clarified that Tasha can no longer just call Lorenzo. Also, Tariq can attempt to hunt Kane down. Also, the needed work just arrived. I think Tariq realized that he needs her for now, and I picked up on the vibe. As soon as they're out of their arrangement, he's gone. But for now, he is part of the family. Well, that does it for my recap of Power Book 2 Ghost, Episode 8, titled Family First. Also, I wanted to take the time to introduce you to my YouTube channel. It's new, and I release 2 videos every week reviewing hit TV shows. I hope everyone enjoyed this video, and if you did, help support the channel so I can keep creating and bringing to you new content. You can do this by making sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Also, hit the notification bell and you'll be alerted when I drop new videos. Again, thanks for watching. Peace.